when we talk about the other women, because her storyline and who she is so baked into everything. Now let's talk about Heather Dubrow, and I'll dive a little bit deeper into that later. But for Heather, I will say this. I think the reason why she's having such a bad season, and I mean like a bad season, like I am a Heather Dubrow stan. I really, really love Heather, but I'm finding it very, very hard to root for her or to be on her side this season. I think for two reasons. The number one reason is I think Heather Dubrow is sad. And by sad, I don't mean, oh, you're pathetic. I don't mean that type of sad. I mean emotionally sad. I don't think she's happy. I don't think she's fulfilled in her life. I don't think she's happy in her marriage. I don't think she's happy as a person, as a woman. Maybe as a mother. I'm not going to touch that, especially with her children. That's not my place to speak on that. So I'm going to just kind of stay in my lane and be respectful there. I don't think she's happy with her friendships. I don't think that Heather is happy. She gives me really sad energy. And I think the fact that she's sad, coupled with the fact that for all the things she has in this world, all the material things, all of the check boxes, she has low self-esteem. She is a pick-me to Tamra Judge. She listens to Tamra. Tamra puts stuff in her ear, winds her up, and then she goes bees Tamra's mouthpiece. Tamra who talks about you like a dog in every single confessional. Tamra who talks about you like a dog to all the other women on the show. Excuse me, Mr. Burrow? Like, are you that thirsty for friends that you're willing to coddle Tamra Judge? Literally makes zero sense to me. It was so clear that this last episode, when Heather turned on Shannon, oh, Shannon, you're using this episode and the episode before. Oh, you used me with the Jeff Lewis interview and you came and you cried to me and blah, blah, blah. Heather, nobody used you. It's the show. Duh. When people want certain angles and certain storylines and certain narratives out there, of course they strategically go to people and talk about it. You do it too, Heather. She's not using you. She's on the show. She wants to get her narrative out there. She wants to get her storyline out there. The only reason why you flipped on Shannon was because Tamra got in your ear and was like, oh, Shannon used you, Heather. And because you have such low self-esteem and you're so thirsty to be up Tamra's butt, you fell for it hook, line, and sinker when, hello, ding dong, Tamra is your number one hater. Your number one hater. Tamra is the one who was feeding stuff to Katie. Tamra was the one who was feeding stuff to Gina. And you don't get that, Heather? Wake up. Ding, 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 hello. Did all the champagne go to your head? Wake up, Heather. And I personally love Heather Dubrow. I think she's fabulous. I think she's great. And I think she's fabulous. I think she's great. But I'm just sort of like, where is your self-esteem? And I think she's sad. I really do. And I think she's sad for a couple of reasons. I'll just jump into it now since I'm like talking about her. So here we go. So this is sort of what I wanted to get into, and I'm talking about Heather Dubrow's demise and what her redemption arc could be, okay? So I talked about it before. I don't think she's happy. I don't think she's happy in her marriage. Don't forget about the cheating allegations that came out with Terry Dubrow. Like, allegedly, he was cheating on her for a while with multiple women, some women in his office. They had the whole alleged paparazzi Disney World, stunt, whatever it may be. I personally think she did call the paparazzi, but at the same time, I don't really care. Again, it's the name of the game. All of these, quote, celebrities, influencers, reality stars, actors, whatever you want to call them, they're all doing that. They're all calling the paparazzi. They're all calling back for it. They're all planting stories because they want to be relevant. They want to be known. They want to be in the news. They want their angle out there. I do think that Heather could have been honest and said, yeah, it was Terry and I decided to do this because there was all these rumors out there and it was affecting our children. Just own it and be honest with it. I think that's kind of where she tripped up. But I don't care how strong your marriage is. And I don't think that Heather and Terry are the strongest they've been. We've seen them fight. But even if you have the strongest of marriages, anytime there's cheating allegations, particularly public ones, it puts a chink in the armor. Doesn't mean you guys are going to break up, doesn't mean it's true, but unfortunately, it is a poisonous seed that is planted. And hopefully, you can get rid of that seed. Um, but then we also see the tension between her and Terry with the hot mic moment. When she was like, "Don't disparage me on TV." She didn't say disparage. I forget the word. She admonish. Don't admonish me on television. Because he was like getting annoyed with her when she was talking, and he wanted to talk, and you could just tell that there was like friction there. And then also, I always kind of squint at couples who are always the super busy couple. He's super busy with work. She's super busy with work, doing renovations, flying here, going there, schedules this, put it on the calendar. I'm always like the super busy couples. I'm always like, well, when do you spend time together? Are you just avoiding each other? Is it a business partnership at this point? So the super busy couples, I'm always like, what's really going on with this? And that's kind of the vibe I get from Heather and Terry. It's yes, they're husband and wife. Yes, they love each other. But at this point, their brand is them as a couple that I think it would be too much for them to separate. I thought the same thing about Kyle and Mauricio, and we see what happened there. So you never know. Not saying I want that for Heather and Terry. I want them to be happy. I want them to be together, and I want them to be great forever and ever. So I'm not wishing that on anybody. And I also think a big reason why Heather Dubrow is so sad, and she's talked about this a couple of times, is I think that she regrets not focusing on her own career. And you might be like, well, what does she mean by that? She has all these reality shows and skincare brands, but Heather always wanted to be a serious actress. She wanted to be on scripted shows, TV series, movies, films. She wanted to be an actor, right? And I think that she stopped really following being an actor to support Terry and his businesses and being on reality TV. But then they get botched, then they get their skincare lines, then they're doing the real estate, then they have like their 4 children. And so, yes, kind of looking on the outside, you think, oh, they have everything, they have all this money and all this stuff. But I think money and all of that stuff really doesn't mean anything when you're unfulfilled at your core, when you don't feel like you really went for your purpose, when you don't feel like you have your own identity as yourself. That's why you have millionaires and billionaires unhappy and drugged out and doing all crazy things. And you're like, well, if I had all that money, I'd be so happy. But would you? You know? And I'm not talking bad about having money. I don't think that money is the problem. I think it's just whether or not you are fulfilled as a person is the issue. You could have $10 and be miserable. You could have $10 million and be miserable. You could have $100 and be happy. You could have $100 million and be happy. It's really not about the money. It's about how connected and developed you are within yourself, right? And I think that Heather, maybe it's a midlife crisis type situation, but I think that Heather isn't happy. And I think that's really what is coming across. And then the fact that she aligns herself with Tamra Judge, she's a pick me for her, blindly follows her, believes her lies, goes after Shannon, goes after Gina, goes after blah, all these other people, when your number one enemy is Tamra. When the number one snake that is against you is Tamra. Tamra was the one who went to Katie being like, oh, Gina's only friends with Heather because of the real estate connections. Oh, all of this stuff. Heather's this, Heather's that. That's why when Jen told Tamara off for Filth this episode, shout out to Jen, she looked at her and she said, yeah, she's only your friend because she's in your face right now, but she talks about you. Because obviously Tamara talks like about everybody like a dog and pits everybody against each other. And I'm just like, Heather, are you that thirsty to be friends with Tamara Judge? So, Heather Dubrow, if you watch this is the guidance I have for you. I don't know who your friends are outside of this cast, because obviously I don't really know you. But I think that you need to find some really good girlfriends, maybe 2 or 3, who are on your level, who are not intimidated by you, who have money, 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 money the way you do, who is happy, either happy single, happy dating, or happy married, but they're happy. And you need to find those women and have a really good group of women to support you. Because even though you have all this money, I, in my gut, don't think that you're happy. And that's why this season it's coming off as bitter, it's coming off as mean, it's coming off as a pick me to Tamra, the low self esteem of it all. And it just makes me sad when Heather Dubrow, you are also that girl. You are, like Heather or you don't like Heather, she's that girl. It is what it is. Heather Dubrow is that girl. She has it. She has it. She just doesn't realize that she has it. She let people who are jealous of her, because that's what it is. Let's call a thing a thing. I'm looking at you, Gina. I'm looking at you, Emily. I'm looking at you, Katie. I'm looking at you, Tamra. I'm looking at you, Emily. You're letting these women who are jealous of you knock you off your spot because you're now looking for their validation rather than standing in the own of who you are. You have Emily having a full down mental breakdown, looking ridiculous out here because you simply said to her, "Oh, bring a pair of jeans to a fashion show." You have Emily out here losing her damn mind. Heather, I just want you to see me, Heather. Emily, shut up. Like that whole situation was so irritating. And then you had another pick me, weirdo, jealous person, Gina, being like, "Yeah, Heather's just so bad. She doesn't see you. She just spends everything." No, Emily's issues were Emily's issues, and they had nothing to do with Heather. But then you get Gina winding Emily up. So you are that girl. When you're not in the room and everybody's talking about you, you're that girl. When if you acknowledge them or don't acknowledge them, they're having mental breakdowns, you're that girl. So Heather, I'm going to need you to buck it up. I need you to get some real good girlfriends who got some good coin so they're not going to be jealous of you to truly support you. I'm going to need you to work on yourself, work on your self-esteem, work on your self-love, work on getting your own identity as Heather, not Heather Dubrow with your husband, not Heather the mother, the champion of your children, which is great, but you need to get back to Heather the woman. And you need to start having more fun and stop caring so much about what people who are quite frankly simply jealous of you think. And you need to step into your that girl energy. And you need to distance yourself from Tamra, hold her accountable. And I would actually love to see a Shannon Beador, Heather Dubrow duo on the show. I think that energy, if we get Heather with some self-esteem and we get her fun again and happy again, I think her and Shannon would be hilarious together. It would be the duo you didn't know you needed. To me, it would be giving like Heather Gay and Lisa Barlow on Salt Lake City, the duo you didn't know you needed until you needed them. You know what I mean? So that is what I would love to see. So that's kind of why I say this is sort of the demise of Heather Dubrow. And that's what I think her redemption arc could be, finding herself again. Who is Heather Dubrow, the woman? Kick Tamra to the curb and align yourself with Shannon. Get some self esteem and stop being a pick me because you're Heather Dubrow. Okay. Now let's get back to the review. Okay. So that was Heather. Tamra. I can't.